Okay, folks, a little late to the party. It's probably not the first review you've seen on the TrailMax Raid, but I think you're gonna like this one. I put a lot of time into this tire. I've got a lot of experience. I'm gonna give you some deeper context and some comparisons with different motos and different tires, so stay tuned. And for the longest time, I was telling Dunlop, I'm like, you know, you got the D908RR on the upper end of off-road traction, and you got the TrailMax Mission, a great 50/50 tire, but you really need something in between, like a 60/40. And well, they're really good at keeping secrets, but they told me to simply wait. Yeah, these tires here I've had on for about 2,000 miles. I first put them on up near High Sierra for my event, and I have another video you can watch of me taking these up Silver Canyon Road. I was very impressed with the off-road performance of these tires, but it wasn't until I got back down on the other side, I was coming down a set of twisties, and I was really amazed that 60/40 knobby can, you know, perform this well on the pavement. The turn-in is very good. It grabs corners well. It's secure. So yeah, my first impressions were that I really like these tires quite a bit. And I'd come off the D908RR rear and the D606 up front, which I'd had in Baja before, and they're just amazing, like a true off-road tire. You know, I could tell that these weren't quite the D908 off-road, but that was fine with me. But what I picked up for pavement performance was truly worth it in my opinion. And since then, I've had them in Mojave, back down to Baja. I took them down to San Felipe over New Year's. And in case you don't know, that's apparently where they keep all the deep sand in Mexico. I was very impressed. I was riding with a buddy of mine on his KTM 500 and chasing him through all these sandy roads. Bike did great. You know, I've been down there quite a lot. I've been through a lot of sand washes, and I was definitely even more impressed than I was before, especially off-road. And you'll find these are a higher mileage tire, but unlike those other high mileage, harder compound tires, let's say Midas, these give you really great performance and confidence. You know, and not to mention the value. I mean, if you look at a cost per mile, I've also had these tires on my Triumph Tiger 900, which I'll get to in a second. But that's impressive. I mean, I'm hearing reports of 6,000 miles or more on a rear, and that's a great value given the kind of performance you get out of this tire. And, you know, look at the other 60/40 tires out there, some of the more popular ones, like maybe the Karoo 4 or the Anarchy Wild. I mean, they're pretty good tires, but they just don't last, you know? And that's why, you know, I like this tire so much more. So let me switch gears here a bit and talk about my other bike, the Tiger 900 Rally Pro. Now that's a completely different bike. That's better suited probably for pavement and traveling and light off-road. And this 990 is just a beast off-road. But since I put these tires on my Tiger, I also upgraded my suspension. It is just amazing the amount of traction. Now, what I had on the Tiger before were the Missions, the TrailMax Mission. It's a 50/50 tire. And I had ridden that quite a bit off-road in Colombia, and they do fine. I think I had a washout on the front wheel once that I was able to save, and a couple uphill sections I lost traction a little bit. But, you know, riding on the Missions with my group of friends in Colombia, we typically have like an A and a B group, and the A group goes a little faster. And on the Missions, I was always in the B group. But that's not the case anymore. I'm definitely up with the A group now, and the traction is insane off-road. And then the trick is, you know, riding there and then riding back, you know, on your last day of your ride. We're riding all these just amazing twisty, curvy roads in Colombia, and these guys are good riders, and I was keeping up with them without a problem. I had no chicken strips. I was scraping pegs, and that's really hard to find, you know, a tire that'll do, you know, everything that well and still, you know, last a decent amount of time. As for mud, I've had zero issues. You know, mud's something I had to learn. You know, I was from the southwestern U.S. and I know sand really well, but mud's a different story. And I finally have gotten a lot better at it. But again, with these TrailMax raids, I've had zero issues with mud. This tread pattern is actually inspired by the D908. They've got these bow tie patterns, and with the tie bars in between, like right in here, this is going to give you better wet grip stability, better flexibility in lower temperatures, and higher durability. They also utilize a jointless belt construction, and that eliminates the overlap in the belts, and that's going to result in better handling and a better ability to prevent heat buildup. If you ever melted a tube, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've done that on the TKC 80, which is essentially a street tire with knobs, but this thing is built for durability. So let me show you the front here. They use kind of a fancy term. They call it a dynamic front formula, but it's basically just, you know, it's a balance between, you know, the section profile and the carcass properties and the tread pattern. And I think a better way to explain that is with an example of another tire. I was down in Chile 2 years ago riding a motorcycle that had the Motaz Desert HTs, and those, you know, that's just pure off-road, and there's no sense of you know, cooperation between the tread, between, you know, straight line and turning. These turn in very well, and you're not going to see the kind of chunking of the side knobs here. And like I said, the turn in is very easy.